Welcome to Merryfield's Gardening Advisor, brought to you by the experts at Merryfield Garden Center. Join us as we discover beautiful plants, new trends, and exciting ideas for your landscape. So let's get growing together. Merryfield's Gardening Advisor, bringing out the best in your garden.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are so glad you could be with us this morning. This almost perfect weekend coming up, except for a little wind tomorrow, but it's going to be beautiful temperatures, beautiful fall colors out there. And Peggy, you're going to help everybody make their own fall colors today.
Create your own destination. It's wonderful. I love fall. It's beautiful, and the weather has really been very good. Yes, we've had a little wind, some rain we needed.
Yes, yes, we did.
Yeah, some that would penetrate, because we've had superficial rains, but nothing that's going down to help those great big trees, and that's important. So what I'm going to do today is share with you some of my favorite shrubs and small trees, and a few other things that's related to fall, you know, and it's going to be good. Let's bring up a pic to set the stage. Okay. The very first pic is one of my favorites. Born and raised in the deep South, my mother, who was an avid gardener, really specialized in camellias. And while we cannot grow some of those huge camellias from that area, we do have, thanks to several wonderful breeders, some that are now hardy in our area. And I particularly love the fall blooming ones, the sasanquas or hybrids of those. And so we have some lovely choices, and this is a good time to choose because you can see what the blossoms look like. And we're going to have a few more when we come back, but we've got some very important announcements.
We've got some announcements today. Lots going on at Merryfield Garden Center. Lots going on in the show today, too. We're not going to be taking your phone calls today. Just when you see all these pictures she's got to show you, you will understand why.
Well, you know I believe in visuals.
That's right. But back to what's happening at Merryfield Garden Center. Today we have our two last seminars of the fall series of seminars. Now we will pick back up in later November and early December with some holiday classes, but today at our Merryfield location, actually at the Merryfield Community Hall, which is right next door to the Merryfield location, at 10 a.m., David Yost is going to be there talking about fall cleanup. I mean, it's a beautiful time to plant. You need to get those bulbs in, and you can plant just so many different things, and he's going to give you some suggestions on that, but also some things that you can do to prepare for the winter months to come and next year. Just some of the little tidy up type of things that you can do now. So that's at 10 a.m. at the Merryfield location. At our Gainesville location, Professor Larry Shapiro is going to be there talking about gardening in deer country. So if you have a little issue with some of our friends in the deer population, you know, eating your plants, he's going to give you some strategies to help with that, and some deer-resistant plants to work with, to give you some great ideas on how to coexist happily with the deer. And at our normally we have a seminar at our Fair Oaks location as well, but today and tomorrow, the Old Dominion Chrysanthemum Society is going to be having their annual show, and it's today from 2 to 5 and tomorrow from 10 to 3. And Peggy, you brought a couple of amazing mums here.
Actually, I brought in some of their rejects, okay?
Yeah, these are the rejects, get this.
If you can just imagine that it's a different kind of mum than we grow in our gardens. They're, number one, they're not hardy here. They are disbudded, they're babied, and then they're shown. And this is just 3 styles. There are a lot more types out there. I really would like to encourage any of you viewing that have some free time to come to our Fair Oaks location and to see this show. It is put on by the Chrysanthemum Society. They are filled with information. There will be a lot of people there. It will be open from 2 to 5 today and 10 to 3 tomorrow. But these mums are unbelievably beautiful. Plus, the show is filled with them. They had really good response.
They really
so I encourage you to come and see these very unusual and beautiful mums.
And as you mentioned, they have their experts there that can answer
talk
any
to
of your
you.
questions.
Gardening, period.
So there's all kinds of mums out there.
Yes.
Absolutely. Okay, so take advantage of that. Free to the public, so come on in and take a look. And today at our Gainesville location, we have something so much fun. This is our 5th annual Dog Halloween Costume Contest. Now, if you've gone to it before, you know how much fun this is. It's just, some of these costumes are just amazing. So registration starts at noon today, and the contest will start at 1. Again, at our Gainesville store, and it's just so much fun. I'm going to be out there. Hope you'll come by and say hi. I'm going to host it, and we've got gift card, $100 gift card to Merrifield is the grand prize. But there's prizes also for most unique, funniest, scariest, best kisser, and cutest. And everybody gets a little something. Everybody who comes gets a little something. But it is going to be so much fun. Just seeing these costumes, the imagination that people have come up with these,
and the fact that the dogs put up
That's
with
right.
it.
That's right. They have a little
That's
walkway. They go over a little, a lot of times you get them to, to stand there, and then of course Karen she's the judge of the kissing. So
oh dear.
she gets lots of dog kisses today. So lots of fun. So we hope you'll join us for that. That is at our Gainesville location. Contest starts at 1. Registration starts at noon. So,
That's great. You can see that and the mum show.
That's right. You just go from location to location. Just lots to do today.
Well, let's talk just a little bit about camellias. We've only got a moment, but as usual, we're going into my garden.
Right.
Because I've grown a number of these hardy camellias now for several years. This is a white one, and there are several out there. As I said, this is a good time I just took this picture a couple of days ago, and the following one is a close-up of one of the other whites that I have. Not going to name names because there's several, and the choices are wonderful. So you've got a white here, and in the next picture you've got a beautiful deep pink. Now, I would like to offer some suggestions because we always have a bigger selection of the camellias in the fall. Because generally speaking, most people like to see the blossom or like them in bloom, and they do need some time to get their roots established. So the sooner you can get them in the ground, the better. First winter out, it's a very good idea to plant them well, a little high. They need good drainage. Loosen up that root ball when you're planting it, water it well, and this is the beauty of planting in the fall, is you don't have to watch that watering quite as closely. However, what I do suggest that you do is mulch an inch or 2 on top of where you've planted it. Then, her father, Bob Warhurst, created those 2-piece tomato cages primarily so that you could put that thing around established
We need to change
plants.
the name of that instead of a tomato cage. It does so much more than just a tomato cage.
It really is. I use it so much. But it's so easy. If you've got new camellias, this is something you can do. You can place it on either side. Now, the holes for that are bigger than wants to hold mulch or whatever. So just running a string around it is all you need. My favorite thing to put into that, and you don't need to do this right away, but you would need to do it when the weather really cools down. My favorite thing to fill that cage with is pine needles. Why? Because they don't pack down. They do allow air to come in, but they do give protection. I can tell you, and I'm knock on some wood, I'm very pleased that last year I did this, and I put it around two very marginal plants that are not always going to make it through up in this area, because I really, really wanted those plants, okay? And figs. Put it around my figs, put it around those plants. Last winter was tough.
Yes, it was.
But they came through.
Great.
So I feel really good about recommending, if you don't do the two-piece Tibetic cage, just any good wire that's 3 or 4 feet tall is fine. Nice big thing. As at last of November, early December, fill it with the pine straw, pine needles.
Give them a little protection.
It makes a difference.
All right, great.
Yes.
We'll be right back with some beautiful destinations for you. Getting ready for Halloween.
Yes, yes. It's coming up.
It's
very
coming
quickly.
up. Oh,
yes.
Fun, fun, fun. Okay, we've been talking about some, you know, the colors are gorgeous outside. I went last week and looked at the foliage, and it's just gorgeous, but you don't have to go far.
No.
You can create this in your own
Create
backyard.
your own destination. That's the theme for today.
That's right.
And sharing some of my absolute favorite things. And I have the next couple of plants in my garden. I would have to tell you that they are so effective out at the Fair Oaks location, because they're planted on banks. Sometimes we really need to just plant those banks rather than try to mow them.
That's for sure.
This one is the purple Calacarpa, or beautyberry. Calacarpa, or beautyberry. One nice thing about this plant is it blooms and berries on new wood, current year wood. And so you can cut it back pretty heavily in late March, early April, and it will come back and produce these gorgeous, gorgeous berries. And there is a white form. In the next picture, you'll see the white form of these berries. Not good for arrangements, really, because they drop rather bad, but they stay on the bush for a long, long time. And of course, we're always looking for berries that feed the birds. And as I was going through some of this, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to use the next one, the holly, a lot in our holiday decorations. But Debbie,
Aw, look at
I
that.
truly couldn't resist putting this one in when I came to it.
Adorable.
And this is a holly. And as I was walking through the garden center, I was really amazed at how many varieties of holly there is. There's something out there for everybody. And one of the fun things is, the holly berries are often the very last things that the birds eat. And so I would have them come into my garden in late February, usually, and almost devour them within a day. Again, going back to the bank planted at the Fair Oaks location in the next picture, you're seeing the purple Calacarpa paired with the hydrangea. The hydrangea are an invaluable plant in the garden, and there's a size for everybody. And I will speak at the end of the show particularly a little bit about dried flowers and how you can do some of this. This one is an easy one. You can just pick and use it as is. I've shown you the next one before. I'll show you again. Amsonia. There are a number of these perennials, particularly ones that I'm showing you right now, that are great to get out and get into the garden now. It's beautiful. It's going to be beautiful tomorrow.
It's a stunning color.
Days. This Amsonia is almost a 4 seasons. No, not totally, but it's spring. It has beautiful blossoms. In summer, it's just a lovely background green, and then it turns this flaming color in the autumn. So it pairs well. Yes, in this particular picture, you've got a lot of things pairing well together. You've got the Molina ornamental grass, which is so graceful. This is the bank at the Fair Oaks location. You've got burning bush, which is flaming right now. You've got the white calicarpa in there. So those are things that just look beautiful together. The following picture, again, I couldn't resist throwing in because artistically I'm fond of this. Again, it's one of the ornamental grasses, just an autumn delight. The following one I snapped last week because I was thinking this is destination. No, I'm not going to get to go down the drive. I'm not going to get to see those leaves. And I don't have to.
You don't have to. They're in your backyard.
I can just come and enjoy this. And what this is, the coral bark Japanese maple. And it colors up, early coloring up. In the background is the red bud already coloring up. The following picture goes in close and shows you why this thing's called coral bark maple. Because the bark is beautiful. It's particularly beautiful if you do some minor pruning here and there, and the new growth is the most red of that. And to emphasize the importance of the red bud, I want to share the next picture, which is a spring, summer color in the leaves. We seek those plants that give us interest in 4 seasons. These are plants for small gardens. They're plants for large gardens, under planting at the edges of large trees, but they can be your major tree because you have this, you have the beautiful stem color, the red, the wonderful oranges and yellows in the fall, and then in the next picture, you have the spring bloom. So you don't need much else.
That's for sure. Oh, gorgeous. Now, you mentioned a couple of the ornamental grasses. Cutting back on those.
Right.
I'm going to let them know when's the best time to cut those back.
I personally don't cut my ornamental grasses back until late February, early March. Let them stay up because the birds love it. It's nice cover. The birds love to come and eat the seeds that are there. Plus, they're beautiful in the wintertime. Even though they go brown,
They give you
and
some
in
texture
the
and
ice
some motion
and
and-
snow, they're magnificent.
Good.
So, and they're overwintering places for some of our good guy insects too.
Yeah. Good. Okay,
Yep,
we're going to
they
take a
are.
quick break and we'll be right
Good
back.
stuff.
All right, welcome back. We're trying to help you create your own fall destination today with lots of color in your landscape.
And just presenting some of my favorite things, okay? It's just touching the surface,
That's right.
really, you know?
That's all we've got time for in an hour.
The things that I enjoy, and I am out of the garden. It has been beautiful. When I get home from work, there's not much daylight
I
left
know,
these
I
days.
know.
I'm sorry that there isn't. I'm really sort of looking forward to the change in time so that I'll have a little bit more time in the evening. because
Right, that's coming up
I do enjoy getting out into the garden. It's very relaxing, and particularly when I'm working in it and it looks like the next picture. We don't give enough credit to the fact that when some of these perennials go down, so to speak,
Can we bring up
like
that picture?
the hosta, that they go down so gracefully.
There we go.
They're absolutely very colorful, and for a couple of weeks. But in the foreground, you've got a large patch of fern, and backed by the big hosta, and they're all golden yellow right now. Behind that, you can see some of those white Sasanqua camellias in bloom, and so you've got that beautiful green in bloom, and then beyond that, the wooded area that has the red bud and the coral bark Japanese maple. So that's an overview of what makes that destination fun.
Right.
And the next picture shows some of the things that are within that. What are some of those plants that are part of that understory? Nandina. Nandina is fantastic. But one thing is, the birds don't eat that. Okay, I like things that the birds do eat, but I can be a little selfish now and then. It's awfully nice to have something that they don't eat and you can enjoy, because this one you'll see more of in Christmas decorations, and the following one you will also see more of in our Christmas decorations, because it's the winterberry holly. Ilex verticillata. There's a lot of different varieties out there, and you do need a little boy along with the little girls, okay, to get these beautiful berries. But it blooms insignificantly in the spring. It is a lovely bush to be part of an understory. Needs some sunshine, but doesn't have to have full day sun. Beautiful part of the border plant, and in the following picture you can see how interesting it is when it's intertwining with some of the ornamental grasses. Cosmopolitan is a variegated one that looks really good with this. Beautiful. And still in the following picture you have what it looks like in the winter time. You know, wintertime needs some things that are beautiful. This is one reason you don't cut those grasses down, because look how pretty it is in the snow. But you've got evergreens. Everybody needs some evergreens. And in the background, you've got the red holly, the Ilex verticillata. It really is. And you know, it's probably still striking, even though I'd been out there and harvested some of it to use in the arrangements at Christmas time, you know. So it works. In the following one, a close-up of a hydrangea that anybody can use regardless of the size of your garden is hydrangea Little Lime. We have quite a few of these at the garden center right now. And they, to me, are one of my absolute favorites, because they stay pretty much in that 3 foot, maybe 4 foot range, no bigger, and anybody can use it. The following picture I took on my back deck. This is a native plant for me. It was in my garden when I moved there over 50 years ago, and is still there today. Cheonanthus, the fringe tree. Just spectacular golden color. It's lovely in the spring, such unusual blooms. And
how pretty with those lights.
I enjoy it, and it stayed. It's one of the latter ones to color up, and I'd already put some of the lights on for Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yes.
I like to have Thanksgiving, thank you.
Oh yes.
And then I like to have Christmas. It's all right to do it the next day, but I really enjoy Thanksgiving. And we don't often think about the evergreens, but in the following picture I'm showing a juniper. This is an important part of landscaping. If you need something that hides a view, gives you privacy, part of a border planting, it's difficult to beat juniper, Debbie.
Oh, I know.
And there's so many different kinds.
There's something for every landscape.
Different varieties, there's different heights. Some of those plants that don't get way, way out of control and you spend your life trying to keep trimmed back. But a lot of them do have berries. And the birds love those berries too. And
it never
I love to decorate with them. Okay, viburnums. Viburnums are wonderful. I have quite a few viburnums in my garden. They're valuable because they grow so well at the edge of the large trees, and this one is a beauty. It's a nice soft berry. It puts on quite a show, and the birds love it. But my, I'm enjoying the next viburnum. Several years ago, I planted a golden colored viburnum. Michael Dodge, I think is, if I remember. This is either a seedling from it or it's an offshoot in some fashion. And this is the first year that I'm going to call it a seedling. And this is sometimes how we get new plants, you know. Maybe I've got a fortune in this.
There
Do
you
see
go.
those?
There you go. I love the
nice?
the leaf structure on
The
that.
leaf is beautiful, but look at the color of the berries. And a close-up in the next picture shows you how beautiful that is. And if we can come back to the desk and my hands, last evening I went out into the garden and picked some of these. This is the original plant, which is just beautiful. It has the golden berries on it. And then underneath it is the seedling. And actually I picked one that has more gold than some of the red. I just took those pictures that you saw, and most of it is as red as you saw it. Why I happened to wind up with one that's a mixture, I'm not sure. But
Just lucky, I guess.
isn't that, I mean, you've just got to say that's beautiful.
That is. It absolutely is.
And so it's a wonderfully valuable plant for the garden. It can be, if it gets a lot of sunshine, the more sun it gets, the better the berries are. Okay, but it blooms and then it berries. Not every viburnum berries. And I could have shown you a couple of absolute favorites that don't berry. One of them is called popcorn. The blooms are about yay big and so fragrant. Oh my goodness. But it doesn't have berries. So ask the questions.
That's right. That's what we're here for. We're going to take a quick break and come back with even more ideas. Hard to believe, right?
You're coming in on that.
Speaking of berries.
Yeah, you're coming in on the beautiful white calicarpa.
Oh, yeah.
And
Gorgeous.
the golden color of the Amsonia Hubrecht dye. Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Yeah, well, I've got some more fun plants coming up. And right now, in my garden, they're in bloom. And a lot of times you have to walk up to a plant or smell it. You don't have to
really
do that
appreciate
with
that.
these.
Okay.
It wafts out to you. And so I had to share this. And walking out into the nursery, I realized, oh, we've got these plants. And then I realized, ooh, I don't have that plant. So guess what? I will be planting that plant. Osmanthus goshiki. This is a variegated one. It'll grow in full sun, but it also tolerates a lot of shade. And so this is a part of an understory of the tall oaks where it gets dappled light all day. Now, nobody has helped me figure out why some of these bloom and some don't. But that's the case.
Interesting.
Always in my garden, the same ones bloom and the same ones don't. So I don't know what's going on. And so far we haven't figured that out. Usually you can figure out the male-female thing, but that hasn't been the case here. So this is beautiful. And then I went out and discovered a new one, okay? It's Osmanthus Carl Wheeler. And I really like the foliage on this very much also. It's a solid green. And I'm told, although these are smaller plants and don't have blossoms, I'm told that it is possibly the most fragrant of all. These are all plants that grow to manageable sizes too. You don't have to worry about overgrowing. In the next picture, I'd put a number of these in several years ago. Osmanthus sasaba. And I love the foliage on this one. It's rather unique. And this year, for the first time, everyone in the garden is blossoming.
Oh, wow.
So the entire garden is wafting with this very sweet fragrance.
So nice when you can walk out and just enjoy those
It really
aromas.
is, and you don't have to go up and do the smell test,
right.
you know. But I wanted to share with you also in the following picture where that particular plant that I took a close-up is located. Because sometimes sighting these plants is very important as to when you enjoy them. Understory for large oaks. The sasaba osmanthus is in the center of the picture. There are hostas and ferns surrounding it. There's native laurel in that area. But the frilly light-colored thing that you see behind it is a clumping, mind you, bamboo called natita. And it, too, is manageable. It only gets, well, mine is only 6 to 8 feet tall.
Okay.
It is absolutely, it's evergreen. Yeah, it gets some deadish looking things by March, okay? But basically it's evergreen.
Great.
If you've never tried that, you really need to. Don't put it in a terribly wet spot or a terribly dry spot. It likes some moisture, but it doesn't like completely wet feet, okay? That is just a beautiful thing.
I love
you know?
this.
Now, tiger eye sumac. It's beautiful. And the next one, Mahonia, underused. This is what it will look like soon. It blooms in early winter. Spectacular, followed by spring, deep blue, beautiful berries. And then I would like to share the following. This is in my garden, taken last week. You can see just the little bit of bloom just beginning. This only gets dappled light. I haven't really had a lot of success growing this in full sun. It likes a little light. And it doesn't like, in my garden anyway, wet feet. It likes to be a little on the dry side once it's established. This clump is about 7 feet tall, and it is beautiful. Mahonia belii. I couldn't resist sharing with you that it is growing beneath the oak in the next picture.
Oh, wow.
You don't think about oaks contributing as much to the fall color as they do, but they do turn. They're not as flamboyant as a maple, but I love the beauty and the ease of gardening with oak. This is a very old one, and the bark and the structure is lovely. And yes, it does have things like Mahonia, things like this clumping bamboo. And so it's taken a while, but this is my destination.
You do not have to go look at the foliage anywhere, do you? You just step out your backyard.
This is my destination.
Gorgeous.
This is what happens when you plant particularly border areas, because I have a neighbor's house behind all that. You know, and they live on their back deck, and we use our back deck a great deal. So, you know, you love your neighbors, but you also
love your
like
privacy.
a little privacy. Or maybe you've got a scene you don't want to look at otherwise.
Right.
This is what you can do with a little planting. It's got dogwood, which turns beautifully. It's got a burning bush. It's here. It's up close. Japanese maple. This is a close-up. Japanese maple, euonymus.
Gorgeous.
It's just
Gorgeous,
beautiful.
gorgeous. All right.
My destination.
Your destination, and you can have the destination too. If you, I mean, we've shown you a lot of plants today, so you can go on our website, hopefully later on today, within the next couple of days, absolutely.
We have most of them named.
But you can see the show, you can see the outline, you can see the pictures, so if you have any questions, you know, go look there, merrifieldgardencenter.com. Okay, we're going to take a quick break and come back with more. Color.
That's a beauty, and we're going to talk about how you can continue to use that Celosia and drying it. Yes, in the next
in our next block.
Yeah.
Okay, a few more pictures to show.
Yes, we do, and we have shared a lot of the pictures because I think it's good not just to see that picture, but how it's used too, because that can be, and I know we're all different, you know, but it's fun for me to share what I do on an almost daily basis, and within a family framework Our garden is so important because you like to be out in the
Right.
garden. And talking with a very, very dear real estate friend last week, the importance of being sure that your property is attractive.
Right.
The curb appeal, it makes a difference. It really does. And so we had quite a discussion.
Well, you've got
about
your
that.
rooms outside. You know, you can
Well, all of that.
enjoying that.
And it's amazing where you can find the beauty, which is why I shared the tree taken up,
Right.
you know. Well, in the next picture, I've always enjoyed this. This is the seed pods of the butterfly weed.
Oh, beautiful.
And we're all so disappointed that this year we just didn't have many monarch butterflies.
Yeah.
So getting some of these plants into your garden is just so important because it helps to contribute to their welfare. And being careful, seeking out information and knowledge on how to use chemicals and not abuse them. Go with the sustainability. I'm not anti-chemical, but I am be careful because we love the monarchs. But I love the artistry of this. And this is what's going on in my garden right now. I have a lot of this because it loves to seed. It's not an obnoxious seeder. And its favorite place, Debbie, is in my driveway. Yeah. Everything my daughter-in-law Debbie says, ma'am can grow more in her driveway than the rest of us.
In their entire yard.
Because it's stone, it isn't paved.
Right.
And they just love it there. And these just seed all over. Butterfly weed. And then along come the children, and they go, the children of all sizes, and they blow it all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so fun. All right. There's a little bit of work coming up,
Right.
but we can turn that work into a little bit of fun too, depending on how you go about it. And that is the leaves are falling and they will continue to fall. And I would love to encourage you, in the next picture you're going to see my compost pile. Okay, I have a lot of leaves. I certainly I can't use one of the little tumblers or whatever
Right,
that
right.
somebody in a small area that's
Absolutely.
dedicated can do. Mine is a different kind of composting. And actually, I've just used this in the garden. Is it going to be totally finished compost according to some pro with compost? No, it is not. But it has worked for me for all these years, and if
And
it's
every little
working,
bit
I'm
helps.
not going to change
That's right.
it.
That's right.
So it goes on in September, and it feeds all the soil. It is a wonderful natural cover. And where you, well, actually, I think in the next picture, it's a little bit better close up, okay? What is it? I layer several inches of the leaves, then put down some straw. Not hay. Hay has seeds in it. You don't want that.
Right.
Straw. Because that allows air into it, and that's important. I usually add some cow manure, the bagged cow manure. I do not go out and harvest this from friends or horse manure because I don't want to fight the weeds.
Right.
I did that in earlier years and I've given it up. I don't want to do that. So you can compost. If it gets turned 2 or 3 times in the summertime, it's ready to go on. And I have done that, and in areas where you want it to look particularly dressy, you can always top it off in the spring with a pretty mulch. And of course, my favorite is the shredded pine, not shredded. Come on.
Hardwood.
No. The pine.
The pine needles?
No. Well, I like the pine needles too. Okay.
We have a guessing game going on.
Yeah. The pine bark mulch.
okay.
It's very simple. Very simple. Okay, two couple of we'll just go with the one. I think we're running out of time in this segment, right?
No, we're good. We're good.
Are we good? Okay. Let's talk about dahlias. They've been gorgeous. They're still gorgeous in my garden. There are some things you need to do if you want to winter over these dahlias. Some of the tropicals, even the cannas. Usually cannas will come back. They're hardy enough. Mine did not last year, unfortunately. So I recommend that you, as soon as a light frost hit these things, cut them back, dig them up, and store them dry in a place that does not freeze. Okay. And one other quick
one on
tip.
this.
If you see falling needles from your pine, I even noticed some of my cypress was doing this too as I was gathering things last night. Don't panic.
Don't panic.
It's normal. It's natural. And if you've got the pines, whoa, pine needles are just my favorite thing. Yes.
Along with pine bark mulch.
Yes, please. Pine bark mulch.
Well, we're going to take a break. When we come back, you've got a little how-to on some arranging for us.
Some little fun things.
Okay, great.
Yes, we do.
We'll be right back.
See if we can show that now since it's just coming in on it.
You got to explain that, Peg.
Yes, coming in on this. Of course, we all love to carve pumpkins, and that's going to be a big thing the next few days, you know, and we've had so many beautiful pumpkins. So I said to Leo out at our Fair Oaks location.
Which in the annual section.
Okay, Leo, it's time for you to use your creativity. And so he cut some of these little gourds and went searching for some little nails, and he put the green on for the eyes. With the nails are the eyeballs, I guess.
Okay, yeah.
And then he cut the parts for the eyebrows and so forth. But I don't know if we can come in. You want me to hold it? Debbie's Daddy. I want to show you the picture because he was so pleased with what he had done, and we took the picture of Leonardo, and he's showing off his creation here. And I really wanted to share his pleasure because these things are supposed to be fun, okay? He came in, he created this, and he made a number of other things that are specifically for, but the expression on his face was priceless, you know? It's the creativity in all of us that add to that joy and fun things, you know.
Well, speaking of creativity, give us a few tips here.
Well,
we don't have a whole lot of time left.
No, we don't. Okay, there is a plant that has played a major role in the fall color. And for some reason or other, we only seem to get this toward the end of summer and into fall. It's a Celosia, and we grow Celosia all through the season, and I'm going to encourage these to produce it earlier. This one is Celosia Intense, and it is intense. It will be very pretty in your garden or in your planters until frost takes it out, but frost will take it out. Okay. I'm changing over some of the planters both at the Fair Oaks location and at my house. Now, what am I going to do? Come in a little closer. I'll show you what I'm going to do. Drastic, wasn't it?
There you go. He's doing some cutting.
Drastic. And I can continue to cut. Look, cut this, wrap up a rubber band around the top and hang it. And it dries beautifully. So keep in mind that a lot of these plants are useful for so many things and so easy to dry. You can, as I said, continue to cut and use up all of that plant, and the rubber band will constrict as it dries, and therefore not drop it in the floor, you know. Okay. And you will have these beautiful things all dry.
How long a time do you need to dry that before it's easily usable?
It only takes a few days. Okay. It only takes a few days. Now, one thing that I had dried too, I went out into the garden and cut all of my gomphrena, the old-fashioned bachelor buttons, which the flower is already dry, but the stems need to dry. I cut that and hung it upside down, and it dries beautifully.
Great.
Mixed with some of the ornamental grasses, you just can't beat it. There are at least 2 plants, Deb, if we have time, that I really want to show. Ramiro at our Fair Oaks said,
Got about
please,
2 minutes left.
Please show this. It's a marvelous, marvelous ground cover at Gaultheria called
Very
Berry. And it is filled with berries. This is an understory plant. It's a ground cover plant. Doesn't want to be totally wet feet, okay? But it is beautiful when it's established. And he's got some of the prettiest ones I've ever seen. And you've just got unusual, okay? You've just got to go and see these plants in bloom.
She's bringing it. She's
very unusual. Here again, asking a bit of the camera person to come in and get that up close. It's why they named this common name toad lily.
I know. Some of these names they come up with.
It's just not right. You know? Not fair. But these are all in bloom right now. And just marvelous. The proper name for this is TriService. So come in. It blooms for a long period of time in the fall.
Well, Peggy, thank you for all these great ideas.
Okay.
Again, go to our website, merryfieldgardencenter.com. If you didn't DVR or TiVo the show, you can get all the information, see all the pictures, and
the names of the plants,
and the names of the plants.
Yeah.
So, lots going on.
Come and see us and say hello.
That's right. You're going to Fair Oaks?
I am.
So come by Fair Oaks and
see the
Peggy.
show and say hello.
That's right.
I love it.
And then once you go there, come out to the dog Halloween costume contest, say hello to me, and have fun.
And David will be there.
David will be there as well.
Yeah.
And David's doing the seminar at 10 at Merrifield.
Right.
And we've got a seminar at Gainesville. Lots going on. Lots going on.
Busy, beautiful day. It is. It's